Are we on, Joe? We're on a 2-shot, by the way, bud. Hey, good morning, guys. Show before the show. Joe, we don't have music, dude. Are we playing music, Joe?
I'm sorry, what?
Are we playing music?
Oh, we can. Yeah. I'm
What?
sorry. I didn't. We had.
Today has been a disaster.
It
We were
has.
supposed to start with music. No
Yeah.
music. Thought it was ready to go. We don't have music.
All right, minimal house. Here it is.
Let's get our music. He didn't send the graphic in time. I'll keep the minimal house.
All right.
I'll bet the house and minimal house on Wednesday morning. I'm all in on minimal house today. Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show. Like, subscribe, share the show. Good morning, Cindy, Chris, Terry, Paul, Kimberly, Karen, all kinds of people jumping in. Brandon. Yes, we should had satellite facilities. I don't know what that means. What do you think that means? A net?
That was from the football show.
Oh yeah. What does that mean?
Talking about elite.
I know, but satellite.
So,
Around the
yeah,
state. Yes.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. Now, Joe, are we going to be able to get music set tomorrow or not? Because yesterday, I know that you thought there was some music that you thought we could put in or not.
So I started processing it, and that's what took us so long to get on.
Last night or
No, it was actually processing in the board this morning. It's just a long clip, and it was just taking too long, so we had to stop it.
well, okay. Do you have an idea?
I can have it in.
Do we have to do it every day?
No.
I mean,
just have to get the
once
song.
you process it the first time.
Right. No.
Okay.
It just has to do.
Well, you can bounce around. I don't care. We're just trying to find something that works. Nobody.
In order to load it on the board has to be shut down. So
Okay.
nobody would be able to hear us. That's why we had to stop it.
Hey guys, like, subscribe, share the show. We appreciate it. Trying to get some things rocking and rolling here. Is there like a? It's like a snap. What the
I thought
hell
you were
is that?
doing something.
No, that's not me. No, it's not me. Listen to
It
that.
sounds so random.
It's weird. We're trying to find some music for the show before the show. Normally start about 8. We're going a little bit late because if there's anything, I effing hate starting late. Okay, I hate it. It's you come in early for a reason. You work all day for a reason for a show to start on time. So then we start. We go ahead. We get it going a little late. We're trying to find some music. It's just not working.
Apparently,
This isn't me though. I don't like this.
Apparently, yeah, this is definitely.
You got something else to get us going today, Joe?
We can try.
Is this what I asked for? Is this what I ordered up?
This
house
is your minimal house.
minimal house. Well,
This is
it's decent, but
let's try future pop.
it's a little more uppy. I kind of like this better. This is better, in my humble opinion. This kind of has an 80s vibe feel to it, like an 80s movie.
It's like
happy.
the ending credits on Pretty in Pink.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, how difficult is it going to be? Can we put a clock, like a countdown clock? What do we do with that?
I can make one for a future day.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
We
now.
could do it for like
It could be in the way future.
We could do like a game show and have a time clock for the the answer, kind of like the music for Jeopardy.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Wait a second. Okay, I'm still catching up here. Like, subscribe, share the show. This is canceltheshow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And of course, always on our website, canceltheshow.com. The show before the show here. A couple more things we're putting together before we get this thing rocking and rolling this morning. Hope everybody's doing well on this March 27th. This does not sound like 60 minutes, Bendy. Give me a break. Bendy, I love you. This does not sound like 60 minutes.
It's too upbeat for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not as intense.
I'm feeling it.
See, I like the corporate one because you really like drove that one home when you did the voiceover for it.
Oh, that was that's not good. No, it's not. Not good. Not good at all. Trying to get it. Okay, I just see when Denise doesn't do her job right, doesn't send in the stuff on time.
Apparently the thumbnail machine's not working.
Oh, my dog ate the thumbnail machine. There's a thumbnail machine somewhere. Rawr. We're going to get started here in just a second.
Be interested to find out if the music stops when I start the intro.
Oh, what are we going to have to figure out with that?
Well, when I hit the intro, I wonder if the music will stop or if it's something that I have to go in and stop. We're experimenting today.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. Okay. All right, we can go ahead and start. There's so much. I mean, this is crazy. Oh, I forgot to send you a video. I got to send this really quick. Guys, thank you for your patience. This is the show before the show. See, but even if people don't like this, but this is like what we were looking to get things going. We don't need like,
It's just better than silence, you know?
yeah, I agree.
Something better than silence.
Okay, I just sent you one more piece of video, and we'll have to start with that in a second. Or that'll be the first video we start with once it comes through. Hey guys, this is Show Before the Show. Vic Faust. Lizzie Sparks, by the way, is coming in a little bit later today. Good morning to everybody. Greg, Tanya, Donna, Bendy, Mandy, Chris, Lizzie. There she is. I'm a you, Bendy. I don't even know what she means by that. 60 minutes is, and if you're talking about 60 minutes, Lizzie, you've lost your freaking mind. This does not sound like 60 minutes. Not even close. Not even close. This is more 80-esque movie, like Weird Science, 16 Candles.
I just remember the clock ticking sound. That's all I remember from.
No, that I think they were
60
talking about
minutes.
that last one. Maybe they were talking about the last music.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Or maybe if you become a grandma, you just start hearing things that are like 60 minutes-esque.
It's the old ear syndrome.
No, my ear's not very good. I've got really bad ears. I've been told several times over my life that I hear, but I don't listen. But then again, I'm a man.
That video still hasn't come through yet. I don't know what it is about this email.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe, okay, let's go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start the show. I'll check this, Joe, as we start the show. It's time to get going.
Yeah, that music switched up. Here we go.
And welcome into Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. I like that, Joe. Was that done on purpose or is that an accident?
That was actually an accident. So
We come back in with the backdrop music. This is Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks on her way. Normally we say that about Eric Johnson when he comes in. Eric Johnson on his way, allegedly, at some point in time. Lizzie Sparks will be in. Pro join the house. We're having some fun, speaking of house, with a little house music. Took the show before the show a little bit longer today, but we're ready to rock and roll on a Wednesday. It's March 27th. Hopefully, wherever you're listening from, wherever you're viewing from today, your day is going well. Donna, we're going to talk about that. What you think of 45 selling Bibles? I don't know. We'll see. We'll get into it. The fact I like to look at the message of what's going on. You can't go wrong with the Bible, right? As long as you believe it, as long as you're trying to live it, and then you go from there. Chris says you guys need something like the old 80s Hill Street Blues TV show thing. No. We got a different vibe. We're kind of new. We're edgy. We're getting things rocking and rolling. We don't want to come down your, like, jump down your throat early in the morning either. So we don't need the AC/DC, right? Thunderstruck stuff, right? Motley Crue. Although, I don't know. Kickstart my heart. Kickstart my day.
yeah,
There you go. Glenn says, "Make America Pray Again." Oh yeah, baby. You're just like you missed your calling. You should have been a WWE promoter with Vince McMahon. Make America Pray Again. All right, guys, you know what we do Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. News, headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, news trends, and of course, our free-for-all conspiracy theory Fridays, although those have becoming more common and evident, and we'll talk about some more of that coming up today. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Go to our platforms, check them out. Like on those as well. Let people know. You can share them. Continue to make comments, jump in on the podcast. We appreciate when you guys are here live. More people watch, obviously, when we're not here. Numbers have been gaining, and that's because of you guys. We educate each other and we get things going. All right, lots to get to today. Coming up later in the show at about 9:30. Hemra, the owner of Route 66 Cannabis, got to talk to him about a couple things that are happening regarding the cannabis industry, not only in the state of Missouri, but around the country from a political standpoint, legal standpoint. The Strix will join us at about 8:40. They are live from Lake of the Ozarks this morning from their beautiful place there, getting some work done, a quick spring break. We'll talk about some real estate issues. Last week was a massive day. Also, what's happening with the health industry and their business that's going through. Donald Trump news all over the place today. Joe Biden had another just stupid ass comment yesterday. Once again, how this man is still running for office, I have no idea. Democrats just go by it, or the national media doesn't cover it. When it comes to cancel culture education, there is no better story, no better man than Dana White when it comes to what he did. He released on a podcast how he had his friends back. This is what you need in business. This is what you need in life. You say, you know what? You try to cancel me and my friends, screw you. We're going to stand up against this stuff. We're going to tell full stories, and people should have a voice. And Joe Rogan was protected by Dana White. What a terrific story. We'll get into that as well. Donald Trump he just continues to get richer. And it's, the Democrats that fill up my message box with little trivial stuff that means absolutely nothing. When it comes, Donald Trump, he's so poor, he has to peddle Bibles now as his popularity continues to go up. Oh, yeah, he's 50% richer waking up today because of stocks. Good for the Donald. A P. Diddy situation, he has responded through his lawyers. Prince Harry was named. That's right, Prince Harry was named in the civil lawsuit against P. Diddy. It is interesting what happened. What's going on? You looking?
No, I was just reacting to what.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
No.
And just about a week or so ago, President Trump said he would not protect Prince Harry. And everybody's like, what is he talking about? Donald may have known something in advance because he said he disrespected the Queen. Anyway, that's going on. Then one of P. Diddy's guys, Brandon Paul, gets arrested. Do we even know where P. Diddy is right now? We'll get into that a little bit. Obviously, the bridge situation is a big, big deal. The Key Bridge. Conspiracy theory there? Or is this just dumb luck, dumb, bad coincidence? It just happened to happen. The media has gone, the media has gone with, because not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden said, everything is fine. This just happened. It's unfortunate. 6 people presumed dead because they're still missing. Anyway, we're going to show you what Lara Logan, one of the all-time greatest journalists who doesn't mix words. She's got some of the best sources you could ever imagine that reporters could literally dream about. She's literally put herself in harm's way several times across this world, several times, even being brutally attacked in the Middle East, trying to bring out news. Just wait till you hear what she has to say and what her sources are telling her about the attack that she says was an attack when it comes to the situation about Logan. Yeah, we're going to play that in just a second. Did you ever get my video that I sent, by the way, of the robot?
I didn't get that one, but I
Did you? It's not up there right now. I sent it like 2 minutes ago.
Actually, I did.
Okay. But first of all, I just want to give a shout out to our friends, Ben and Marla Khan from Wenty's, the owners of Wenty's. And it was Marla's birthday yesterday. So I ran up, I don't know, for about an hour and 20 minutes, joined him at Ameristar where they were celebrating. Totally dead night, just sat there. And when I came in, and they had ordered food. So we ordered food. And then all of a sudden, this is what showed up at the table. Okay, robots are bringing you your food. I know it's not that robots do everything, but it was the first time I've ever had food served to me with a robot. It literally scoots all around the place, bringing people their food. Servers have to look out for it. Literally, the robot is rolling around taking people their food. And then it's like it sits there and you're like, do I take the food off? And then when a server gets there, they bring it off. I guess it's working. I don't know. I'm sure people have seen these things. It just seemed very, very weird. Very weird. So, no, you don't tip the robot. The servers will show back up. But literally, servers are not carrying food anywhere. I'm a former server, former bartender. I just found it very interesting and was wondering what people thought about that whole situation.
So when it brings that's a good question though. When you're paying for the food, does it ask for a tip? And who are you tipping
No,
here?
the server brings you your bill. I guess this was implemented to help people who are serving because it's such a tough job.
So does that lower the percentage of the tip?
It's Joe, it's exactly where I was going with that. I have no idea. It was just weird. But here's the other thing. If you play the video again, listen to the music, and it literally scoots around and you hear this. It sounds like a wedding.
That's copywritten, probably.
Stop it. I mean, what the hell's going on? This is what's out there right now. I don't know. I guess you get used to certain things, but I don't know if I trust a plate on a robot coming to me. They literally load it up. They load it up at the kitchen and send it on its way to your table. And it stopped back about, I don't know, like 3 feet. What happens if that table gets like pushed over, like 2 feet or 3 feet? It's just very bizarre. I don't
Probably
know.
got the Tesla.
This is at Ameristar in their sports bar area. Anyway, in the St. Louis metropolitan area, St. Charles to be specific. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Happy birthday to Marla. By the way, it was her birthday yesterday. Okay, getting into more serious news here. This is canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks on the way. Pro Joe in the house as well. Interviews coming up today as well. But right out of the gate, 6 presumed dead with the Key Bridge in Baltimore. Okay, this is a little bit of a longer interview than we normally do, but you have to listen to Lara Logan and explain. Now, I know people, I'm still on the fence. I'm trying to decide what the hell, was this coordinated or was it not coordinated when it came to Baltimore? Of course, the president says no way. The mayor says no way. The mayor wanted everybody to stop showing videos of it. But think about one thing. There's only 2 spots on the entire bridge that could be hit that could take it out. One of them was hit. And you're talking about the busiest port in America, is what we're told. The busiest port. And everything is completely shut down now. The port is shut down, and now you can't go over the bridge anymore. And you can't take hazardous chemicals through tunnels. She'll explain. They can't even go through tunnels, and they're too big. Everything has been disrupted. Was it on purpose or not? I know people close to me that say, give me a break. No way it wasn't. And that's how I was feeling after I read or listened to this interview with Lara. I'm like, what's going on?
No, I may have misunderstood. Do you want me to start this at 6 minutes?
No.
Because it's okay. So start it from the beginning.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we'll get your camera set up so we can see you. Remember, every day we go through this, Joe. If you talk, we want to see you because you're a good-looking dude with a good personality. There he is.
All I have to do is just put it in,
I love it when we see you. Boy, from the comment line, everybody is saying, yes, a planned attack. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Are we ready to play the interview with Lara? She was on Steve Bannon. And I'm just telling you, I was in the business for 25 years, and this woman is one of 2 or 3 of the most respected journalists I'd ever seen and loved, because she doesn't bullshit anybody. She doesn't care what side of the aisle you're on. And she literally put her own body and her health in harm's way to bring stories across the world. Here's the interview.
So we need an investigation. What is your investigation telling you?
Well, I have a better question for you, Steve. Why are you coming to the mic telling the country that it's not terrorism when your own intelligence agencies are telling you it is? And I know they are, because I didn't make this up. These are not my words. right? I'm talking to people who are on the inside, some who are on active duty, some who are retired, and everyone, literally from critical infrastructure in Department of Homeland Security to the intelligence agencies, they know there's no other, this is a cyber attack on a critical infrastructure corridor for the United States. This is, for those people who think this is just a river, this is in Baltimore, what does this matter? You don't know anything about what you're talking about. The I-94 corridor on the eastern seaboard is literally what connects the north and south. And when I talk about hazardous materials, right, this is a brilliant, well-planned strategic attack on one of the most important supply chains in the United States of America. The only other one is in the western side in California. That's the only one that's busier. And what you have done, you now have shut it down. And when I talk about hazardous materials, what are we talking about here? This is refined fuels, right? This is propane gas. This is diesel. This is fuel. This is flammable materials. This is oversized loads, nitrogen, chemicals. Everything that you need for your economy to move has literally just been shut down for 4 to 5 years. And how did they do it? They knew that they had to target one of two main anchor points on that bridge. There are two load-bearing pylons that any structural engineer can identify that are on the end of each side of the bridge. These are the ones that are thicker and stronger than anything else on that bridge. And when you hit one of those pylons, when you take that out, the reason you see so much of that bridge collapse instantly is you just brought 50% of the span of that bridge coming crumbling down. And what you don't see beneath the surface of the water, Steve, is absolutely catastrophic. It is a structural nightmare and a logistical nightmare because you have the entire bottom part, the concrete part of that bridge, and you don't know the extent of the structural damage to that. And you won't know it until you pull all of that infrastructure out of there and you get to look at it. And so you're talking 3 to 5 years at best. And what you're talking about here is probably building a new bridge. So what you have effectively done now, you've shut down the I-95 corridor that's above ground. So now you're going to have to go north to New York. You're going to have to go south to North Carolina. And your trucks, your hazardous materials are going to have to go around Baltimore now. They're not going to be able to go through it. And what else did you do? You shut down the sea corridor, the shipping corridor, because now the port is shut down, right? And so all those tankers that are out at sea that have hazardous materials on them, those are going to have to all be rerouted. And why can you not move hazardous materials through the tunnel? Why is this such a big deal? Because they created that bridge because hazardous materials, for example, oversized loads, they don't fit in the tunnel system. Yep. And there's other loads that are so dangerous that they require a permit. It takes time to get a permit. It costs money to get a permit. It requires an escort, right? You've seen it on the highways sometimes. You've seen when you have these massive oversized loads and they've got escorts all around them, these huge convoys. Well, what do you do on one of the busiest corridors in the United States? You don't shut it down in the day so this can happen. That means you can only move this stuff at night. Which automatically impacts the amount of traffic that you can use. The tunnel is going to be overloaded. This is what you call death by 1,000 cuts. It is an absolutely catastrophic attack on critical infrastructure, and you cannot see it because a cyber attack is unseen. Just like the attack on 2020 on the voting machines that you cannot see.
Okay, I want to go. You just had this big thing with the FBI talking about what the Chinese Communist Party's cyber hacking for 10 years, and now they're saying it's out of control. Are your sources telling you that they feel there's enough information out there that it is a cyber attack, and is it a state actor or non-state actors?
100%, yes. They are saying that this is a cyber attack. You didn't have a terrorist group board the ship and commandeer it and take it over. You had somebody hack into the systems on board the ship, the GPS system, and reroute that ship. They did it in the middle of the night because they didn't want the crew to be awake. They didn't want everybody to be on full high alert. They wanted everybody to be asleep and you trying to wake people up and rouse people, because when I spoke to one individual who has, let's just say he worked in Baltimore for many, many years. and was there when that bridge was opened. He knew when he looked at the security camera video of the harbor, the long version, the 7 minutes, he knew from the start of that video when he looked at that ship that it was not in the channel. You need to be in the channel to make that turn, to have any chance of making that turn. So now you're traveling. That is a river that flows pretty quickly, Steve, even under normal circumstances, right? And at a certain point, you're committed. That ship is heavy, the load is heavy, the water flowing at a certain speed, you've got very little room to maneuver. So at a certain point, there was absolutely nothing that they could do to stop that ship from the course that it was on, because they were not in control of it. And they had all of these other factors coming into play. So when terrorism and counterterrorism experts look at this, when people who know critical infrastructure, when, there's a number of different people that I've spoken to, cyber people, when they look at it, they know exactly what they're looking at. And so it's extraordinary that anybody could come out now when they haven't had time to do an investigation, I know for a fact that they're getting people inside their agencies that are telling them what they're telling me, and they're making public statements that completely contradict what anybody who knows this terrain, who knows it, and I don't just mean the physical terrain, I mean the cyber terrain and the terrorism terrain and the critical infrastructure terrain and all of that. I mean, I've talked to people whose job after 9/11 was to identify, if you were Al-Qaeda and you wanted to capitalize on that attack, how would you do it? They were the people that came up with the term death by 1,000 cuts. And what you're looking at now is exactly what they feared terrorist groups would do to really exploit the advantage that they had after 9/11, because you are bringing the United States to its knees step by step from within.
Laura, how can people follow you on this? We'd love to have you back on the next couple of days. How do people, social media, podcast, all of your information you're writing, where do people go?
You can find me on X. I'm putting most of this information out on X, and I really want to emphasize, Steve, strongly. We are in an undeclared war right now, and these are not my words. I'm not making this up. This is coming from people who really know and who ordinarily would never ever talk to me. But we've reached a point in this city. I think if you look at the quote of one of the intelligence analysts that I spoke to, right? I'm just going to read it to you very, very briefly, okay? It's not long, and it really sums it up. He said, "They have figured out how to bring us down. As long as you stay away from the teeth of the U.S. military, you can pick the U.S. apart. We are arrogant and ignorant, a lethal combination. Obama said they would fundamentally change America, and they did. We are in a free-fall ride on a roller coaster right now. No brakes, just picking up speed." And I would urge people, watch very carefully the people that tell you that this attack doesn't matter. Stop following them on Twitter. Discount everything they say because they're either totally ignorant and useless, or they are a plant. And there's a lot of anons out there, right? And I follow a lot of anons, and I appreciate and respect the work that they're doing. But we're in a moment of truth now. We have very, very little time. When you start to shut down, hazardous materials and the shipment of fuel, you know what that means. It means everything goes up. It means food goes down. The access to food and critical infrastructure, that means that goes down. Prices go up. This is catastrophic for the American people, and it's catastrophic for this country. But it is a financial and economic attack. If you're not going to see tanks rolling down the street, stop looking at the type of, conventional war and saying to yourself, well, if I don't see this, then it means we're okay. If people need to understand what they're looking at. And for those people who say, well, the FBI, isn't it interesting? Christopher Wray just put this big counterterrorism guy, he put him in charge of the FBI office of Baltimore just yesterday. And this is the guy that's out in front of the cameras already. Well, isn't that amazing, right? Do you believe in coincidences? I don't. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. None of this happens by chance. This happens by design. And the problem that we have is that people in power in this country are complicit in the breakdown of American infrastructure and America's defenses. And Steve, this is one thing that's really important for people to understand. If you step back from this for one single moment, you will notice a pattern developing here. When we left behind $80 billion of equipment in Afghanistan, nobody said we had to do that. There was no one with a gun to the administration's head saying, get out of Afghanistan by this date. They said, oh, we made a deal with the Taliban. Oh, wait a minute. You made a deal with a bunch of terrorists? You're the world's superpower. You chose a timeline and you chose an exit that resulted in handing $80 billion of advanced military equipment to your enemies. Well, what did that do? It reduced the advantage that America had on the battlefield because you narrowed the gap.
We can get out right there. Lara Logan, okay, I told you, full disclosure, I've always respected her because I know the news business. I know local people. I know national people. I know international people. She has been somebody who I've respected for a long time because she doesn't bullshit. She is brilliant. She brings sources to the table that people could only imagine ever having in the news business. And she's never been one of these national types of journalists who don't give you the full story. She gives it. She gives it. Now, does it come across as conspiratorial, what she says? Yeah, of course it does when national media is like, oh, it's just an accident, just an accident. But could there have been a cyber attack? When you look at the video, and there is sped up video of that boat before it happened, that ship, lights going on and off, and then going directly straight at one of the only two spots of that incredibly long bridge, over a mile, right? About a mile length bridge that could take the entire bridge down. And that's the exact spot where they hit. Now, I get that if you bring another side to the table, the other side's going to say, oh, there you go again, tinfoil hats. And you're allowed to have that opinion. But I'm telling you, as she said that she was told, and let me tell you something, she's got plenty of money. She's got plenty of notoriety. If you know Lara Logan and people that know her, she's not looking to just make a name. I got to have my name out there. She could give a shit.
Right. She could give a shit. And this is.
But, quote, we are in an undeclared war, and intelligence agencies are telling me this was nothing but an act of cyber terrorism. Okay.
She's spot on. I thought that yesterday too. And a lot of people told me I was absolutely wrong.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
That it was an accident. I agree with Laura. There is no coincidences anymore. And so we've had Zizi on this show before, and she's been telling me almost daily.
Zizi from Afghanistan.
Correct. That she said, watch Afghanistan and watch everything that happens. We are going to be taken down little by little by little. It's these little attacks like that stop our infrastructure. You know, things like cars go on that. And people are like, oh, well, you can take, little tugboats to pull the cars that you're going to buy. No, you can't. No, you can't. So, I mean, this is definitely, as she's saying, a pattern that's developing. That was not an accident. It's not an accident.
Just wait. It's going to affect prices and supply chain. You're talking about the busiest port. You'd have to go to the West Coast to have one that's as busy. It is interesting when you break it down, because I've talked with a couple of people and they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And now you've got a bridge that may take 4 or 5 years to rebuild. That port is shut down for God knows how long. They're still in a recovery mode of trying to find bodies.
Correct.
To give some sort of final chapter for families, and God knows how long that's going to take. Divers are, looking through visibility that's only a foot in front of them on the grounds of 50 feet water in a fast moving situation of water. And then you're dealing with this. So yeah, once again, when you see the video, lights going on, going off, ship turning directly right into the one spot. We want to bring another part of the story to you. I've always believed in that. And I told you, it drove me freaking crazy in over 2 decades of working news, not being allowed to tell a full story. Okay. National media, national news. We saw bridge gets hit by cargo ship. Oh, and then they get taken down. All right. Mm-hmm. But was something else going on? Could it have been avoided? And that's why we wanted to show you that. And once again, I deeply, deeply, deeply respect Lara Logan and the work that she has done for decades as well.
Same. I think what she said,
she has a good history,
sense.
Lizzie, where she doesn't bring stuff out. Mm-hmm. She's just not wrong when she brings stuff out.
Correct.
She's just not. I'm just telling you her sources, and I know her. And if you guys like her, respect her, think anything of me or this show, I'm telling you, she is legit.
She is legit.
So I saw that and I watched the entire and I'm like, damn, I don't know what to think, but if Lara's talking, I've got to play it. And if people hadn't seen it because her track record is so damn good.
Well, and that wakes up even the most conservative person. if they look at this and listen to her, she, like you said, she broke down facts. She wasn't just wearing a tinfoil hat. She has great sources. If you talk to anybody in the Coast Guard, all of them said that could not have been an accident. So it's just one of those things that we have to continue to keep our head on a swivel, because that's how they're going to hit us this time. It's not going to be a 9/11. It's going to be a bunch of these little things so that people go, oh, yeah, it was just an accident. Oh, yeah, it was just an accident. Till all of a sudden our entire country is one big accident.
I don't I don't have a problem if people think this was an accident.
I don't either. I truly don't either, because it could go either way.
But we're going to damn well make sure that you understand that somebody with all kinds of sources says it was 100% on purpose.
Correct.
A cyber attack, and more
Mhm.
going to come. Have we seen or started to question more cyber attacks happening in this country over the last year?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, we've all been affected by these cyber attacks.
I don't know how to connect all the single dots on this yet. I wish that I did. I wish I could stand here and tell you, but I think there's enough to question what happened.
I agree.
I mean, I believe in coincidence. I do, to a point.
Yes, I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything happens for a reason, even if you don't understand what the reason is.
From the chat line, and we appreciate everybody jumping in. This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe, behind the scenes taking care of everything. We love it when you guys jump in 8 to 10 a.m. Central Time. Your comments being a part of the show as well. Liking, subscribing, all of our platforms that we have. Glenn says the electrical grid will be next.
Mhm.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
We've been
Be
talking about
surprised.
those things for a while. That happens. Chris says, and the drifting excuse is BS. A ship that size doesn't get pushed to term that much by a channel current. That was 100% intentional, whether cyber attack, human driven, or made to look like it had issues.
Correct.
Angie says, wait for the shutdown. As mentioned several months ago, Civil War II, World War III. I mean,
And this war is going to look different. It's going to look
Correct.
like exactly what we're seeing. It's
Money-
going to be money grids.
the money, your
Mhm.
well-being,
Correct.
safety from within. At the same point in time, we still haven't taken care of the border issue on top of everything else. More and more illegals now killing, robbing, raping Americans. It's happening. I've got another one to show you again today. It just, Tanya says either planned or drunk sailors. It was planned. Karen, 100% right on Lara. Lots of things are happening. She did say that the intelligence said that Americans are arrogant, and I'm trying to remember the other word, arrogant and lazy.
Mhm.
We've gotten so damn comfortable with the nice little lifestyle
Correct.
that we have, that here come the prices. Here comes everything else that's happening over and over. We'll continue to talk more about this. We're going to break down the P. Diddy situation coming up as well. One of his good friends was arrested. We'll tell you why. Why is Prince Harry accused in the civil suit with P. Diddy? And why did Donald Trump say he wouldn't help Prince Harry a week before any of this stuff came out? It just, I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there's fire. We'll tell you about Trump's fantastic financial news. I mean, he just gets richer and richer by the day with everything. Joe Biden had one of the worst moments I think he's ever had. We'll show you his comment regarding the bridge. And then Dana White. You know, it's one thing to have good friends. It's another thing to have friends that'll actually stand up for you and say, you know what? F you. If you're going to try to take down my friend, then I'm gone too.
Mhm.
I'm not going to allow you to cancel him. When you find people like that have your back and try to help you in every which way, you got to appreciate that. And some of those people who are like that are the Stricks, Kathy Helbig Strict and Steve Strick, joining us today live from Lake of the Ozarks in their beautiful facility that they have there. It's a beautiful place. Steve, Kathy, you guys.
Lost my audio.
Oh, they lost their audio. All right. If
When I do this, but
Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome back into Cancel This. Happy Wednesday. Hey, real quick, last week was one of the biggest days that we'd had when it came to real estate news. Before we talk health and fitness and life and everything else that's going on, did anything else happen this week? Any follow-ups from the crazy financial news when it came to real estate and mortgage last week?
I mean, yeah, I think basically like almost on our way into the studio is practically when everything was breaking. So there's been a lot of fallout, a lot of questions, some answers that had been taking place. It's really shook the industry, but I think the dust is settling a little bit on fears and nerves of some of the people that are within the industry. But what I'm noticing is there's just so much misinformation in the headlines, shocker, that is leading consumers in the wrong direction and thinking the wrong thing. So we've pretty much spent, or I've spent my week, putting out those fires, trying to educate agents so they know how to have these conversations with buyers and sellers and set the record straight. I know our lovely president came out and did a press conference even right after that settlement and quoted saying that for the first time in history, sellers can our consumers can now negotiate commissions. Like
No.
it's always been.
Mm.
So that just fuels the fire, and everybody's thinking that, oh gosh, now it's a race to the bottom. That was incorrect. He also appealed to real estate agents to drop their fees to help the economy.
Right.
So
That would
it's
really help.
no,
That'll
We're
do it.
lowering interest rates. Just
Yeah.
lower your commissions.
just lower
Right.
your working wage, which is very not even minimum wage for a lot of people in the real estate business, unfortunately. So I've just been correcting a lot of things all week, doing lots of meetings with agents locally. I got to do it's called Lawsuits and Leadership uh, live stream last week across the United States of just me and one other lady on a panel talking about these changes and the settlement and what it means for agents and what it means for buyers and sellers. So a couple of the misinformation is that it does not necessarily lower anyone's commissions because now things are going to change. Listing agents are going to have to do different things just because a seller may opt to not have their agent share the commission. Doesn't mean they can't. Most likely, most still will because they know it's an incentive, a way to incentivize getting their house shown. Another thing that's a misconception is that well, not a misconception. One thing that one of your listeners brought up last week, which is very true, is I won't be able to just go look at houses anymore. Like I'll have to commit to an agent, and that is one of the mandates of the settlement and the National Association of Realtors lawsuit. Is that from starting in July, if you want to have an agent do any type of agent duty, the agent will have to discuss their agency relationship and enter into a written agreement with you before they can do anything. So that's going to change things, a lot less tire kicking, a lot less agent hopping. So we are going to have to actually change the consumer's perception and change their habits as well. So a lot of that stuff, yeah, nothing, no biggie.
Please tell me that real estate agents and mortgage people understand that the current man in the White House is not somebody that they should have in the White House. Does your industry get that?
I would hope after that press conference, the ones that were on the fence would, have something to say about it. But
Man, I hope so. That's for sure. By the way, in the midst of a stressful week, you two look absolutely amazing. How do you look that good this early in the morning? Seriously. I mean, what's going on?
there, we went to bed at like 1:30.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
With the group.
Hey, real quick too, people that are from the Missouri area get this and understand it. What's the housing industry like down at Lake of the Ozarks? Because it's such a beautiful area, and obviously, so many people go there. It appears to be getting more popular every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's still super low inventory, still things very sought after. The new lake show started 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys were able to catch any of that yet. So there's some fodder out about Lake of the Ozarks and more exposure with lakefront empires that hit the airwaves on HGTV on Monday nights at 9 o'clock Central Time. So that's got a lot of tongues wagging down here. You say?
Yeah. I mean, All the listeners should tune in on April 8th. Kath wasn't going to say that. Tune in on April 8th.
You might know some. You might know some people.
You might know a couple people on that show.
Really?
Oh, that's exciting.
April
Yeah.
8th. Do we know what time?
HGTV, 9 o'clock
9
Central.
p.m. Central.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Is this your first appearance on HDTV?
Yes.
How did
So is it 9 a.m., did you say, or 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
9 p.m. It's right after a show called Rock the Block, which is their
Yeah.
number one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But our roles are a little reversed in this one, so it's interesting.
have you
I'm not a woman and she's not a man. Just so you guys know. We're all just weird, but
Not
we're
that
not
kind
that
of
weird.
rehearsal.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. I mean, you guys, your voices need to be heard. And that's what we've tried to do is make sure people understand, number one, the knowledge that you have from the mortgage industry, Steve, with New American Funding, and of course, Kathy with Experience Realty Partners. And by the way, you need to give her and her team a call, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. And Steve also has his phone number scrolling on her screen, but Joe did a great job when it comes to, as well, reminding people when Steve and Kathy will be on HGTV. Steve Strick, of course, with New American Funding, powered by Square Mortgage. The phone number 314-374-0770. And of course, Kathy Helbig Strick, 314-276-SOLD. Guys, I love to see how great everything's going right now with the New Age health and wellness business, newagehealthwellness.com, newagehealthwellness.com. I was in yesterday again, and of course, you have to get through all the people there coming into the businesses. I wanted to remind everybody where your locations are. And I love, Steve, that you put this out there so people can see the storefronts and the pictures. So as we bring you in, I wanted to show you that as well because of the 3 locations that you have. Joe will pop that in as well. Can you let us know about updates at the stores right now? What's happening, that sort of thing. Again, reminding people because as you talk, we can show everybody the locations as well.
Yeah, of course, we've got our locations, as seen here at Ladue, Lake St. Louis, O'Fallon, Illinois. The lease will be signed this weekend at the pair. So we're hoping to open that probably in August. Again, Leawood, Kansas, if you're up in the Kansas City area, is opening in May. And we've got about 4 more possible franchises that we're talking to here in the surrounding areas and across the state. So.
Is that it? 4 more?
Yeah, we haven't really tried yet. So I know it's disappointing, but we'll get that number up.
It's been fun, and there's some fun possible changes coming down the pike with some of the things, products, right, within that industry. So yeah, that's a fun one to be dabbling in right now. Real estate and mortgage has been on fire for the last couple of years. So nice.
What about Steve? This question is for you. When it comes to the testosterone aspect, are you still having success stories all over the place? People coming in and telling you how it's changing or it's changing their lives and or their bodies and their health. And is it kind of what you've always heard?
Yeah, I mean, the stories just continue to flow in. The more people that come through the door, it seems the more people we help and the more positive stories we're hearing. We were talking to an older gentleman the other day, and he started testosterone replacement therapy, for the first time. And he was in his 60s, and now he's able to move around much better. He's able to pick things up easier. He's got more energy. He's basically got a new lease on life. So, I think it's important not only that people start looking into their blood work and hormones and things like that, but it's also important to stay active. And whenever you're not able to do these things as easily as you did before, you don't want to do them. So therefore, if you can't get around as easy as you used to, if you can't lift things the way you used to, if you can't, walk around and not get tired like you used to, guess what? You're going to get lazier and you're going to deteriorate just because you're not going to want to do those things. So, that's one of the stories. We talk a lot about younger people or middle-aged people, but it's helping people across the entire age spectrum.
I just wanted to give a shout out again. You guys do prescribe semaglutide there. You do it in an amazing way. with nurse practitioners who are experienced. Jessica's been absolutely amazing at your Ladue store where I've gone.
Thank you.
Um, the way she has brought me through using semi-glutide with you guys, I mean, it's been second to none to make sure I'm doing it the right way, what I can expect, everything forward. So excited. It's given me a new lease on life, weight life, that's for sure. And a lot of hope and just helping me change patterns and habits with my, and when I started to see success, it's also it just, and I've always worked out, but it's even encouraged me to do even more and change certain things to try to be as healthy as I possibly can. So I'm assuming the semi-glutide is still doing very well and people are asking, both men and women.
It is. We're actually going to increase our product line, and there's going to be 3 levels of the medical weight loss. So there's going to be 2 types of semaglutide, and then also the tirzepatide is going to be offered, so people can take their pick, which one works for them.
And we encourage people to reach out to newagehealthwellness.com. Once again, newagehealthwellness.com, everything that's going on there. By the way, Steve, I love that you sent me a picture. Is this from this morning? Is this your view outside today?
That is this morning. Yes.
Bragging right now.
No,
No, not at all. I've asked for the pictures. Oh, we don't have it. I'm sorry. Let me go back and check. I'll get it. We will show that. That's for sure.
No problem.
Um,
Yeah,
well-
we're on spring break with our youngest, came in from Chicago. So we can squeeze
She
in
wanted
3
to go
days
to the
this
lake.
week to do spring break. So we took off late last night after my little Bible study women's group. So packed it up around 9:30 last night and rolled out. So
How has the Bible study gone so far? I'm just curious when it comes to this, with so much going on in life and women being so busy. Because I know Lizzie was like, "Oh my God, that's a great thing. I got to try to get over there at some point."
Yeah. No, I did. The very first time I did go there last night, I was unable due to volleyball. But oh my gosh, Kathy, I saw, for any of you that don't know Kathy, I saw even an additional side of Kathy. She is just a genuinely wonderful person. And we can't go into detail of what anybody talked about there, but it is a wonderful group of women with Kathy leading the group. And it's definitely all based on the Bible. And we were talking about prayer. I think I can say that part of it. And it was so inspirational. And when you leave there, you feel better about life in general after you leaving Kathy in that setting as well.
well, thank you, Lizzie. I think everybody contributes to that, obviously. And last night was, really phenomenal. We had a lot of new faces. We had some people on vacation, but a lot of new faces that showed up last night. And it was just really cool to watch because it's every other week. So to watch what we had talked about the week before, and going into this, I was uncertain. I'm trying to pick a topic, not knowing anybody and what everybody's going to be interested in. So it was really cool to watch it unfold. That some of the things that we had talked about and read about, and even watched a little video on, ended up coming into play in people's lives in between those 2 weeks that we met, and they got some real value out of it. So that was nice, and then just getting to know each other better. It's a great group. So I can't be more thrilled with it.
Steve, before we let you guys go today too, I wanted to give you a chance to remind agents what they can do with your program that you began 2 years ago, because we started to have more questions last week after you guys left the show, which is what always happens, and why people should contact you if they're in this industry to make sure that they're doing everything they can to, support themselves the best way they can for the knowledge that they have.
Yeah,
keeping us busy.
Yeah, that is actually why we left late last night, because we've got some meetings. We told Elena that we were going to give her our undivided attention, which we're unable to do a lot. Feel bad, but we're just packing some meetings in this morning, and that's why we came down, because we keep talking about this model and spreading the word. So we're in a new market. The times have changed, and I think the seasons have changed, right? And it's separation season right now. And what I mean by that is we're walking into a world where not only real estate agents have to have a stronger value proposition, but so do loan officers. And I say that because it's all for our clients. We have to get better. So what we've done is we've created a value proposition for real estate agents to be a better real estate agent, to be more educated, to include more transparency in the process, which in turn helps their client. This is a value proposition that has never really been taken advantage of. There's a couple states in the United States that have done this for quite some time, but this needs to go nationwide, and it is going nationwide. So I'd say, yeah, if you are a real estate agent, you need to look in the mirror and take inventory and question, what is your value proposition for your clients? Because what worked 2 weeks ago is not the same thing that's going to work 2 weeks from now. And we've got to level up. And the people that just put their head in the sand and say, you know what, I've been doing it this way for forever. I'm sorry, but it's going to be a tough road for you. And the people that actually run towards the change, embrace the change, and try to do better by embracing these better value propositions, they're going to win. And so are our clients, and so is everybody else.
Well, that's Steve Strict with New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage. With that program, contact him. His number is running on the screen. We let people know that for his cell phone as well. Or you can contact him through Kathy's company, of course, 314-276-SOLD, Experience Real Estate Partners. Guys, before you get out of here, too, I got to show that picture. This is the best picture ever. This is what, if you get these kinds of pics. That's gorgeous. That is a great Lake of the Ozarks morning. That's a March morning.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, March morning.
A little bit sunny and
it's crisp.
Sometimes that crisp, I was going to say, that little crisp air feels good.
Yeah.
And if people look really closely, this would be good for our
really?
Bake slow. Yeah.
in the right lower corner of the screen, there Steve loves gorillas.
Can we blow that up?
I mean, he is a gorilla guy. This big gorilla sits on all fours down there on the lower part of the screen.
You might see that on April.
Yeah, okay, there you can see it. There you can see it.
Out at the lake, making sure that everything's taken care of on the dock.
Titus might make his HGTV debut. You never know.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And by the way, that is named Titus, and Titus is an imposing figure when you're down there. If you happen to be in that little cove, you'll see Titus.
That is fantastic.
Like we're looking at his Titus.
We are looking at Titus as Titus.
Joe, fantastic job of getting that down there. Well, we know you guys are super, super busy, and we've caught up with you. So we'll continue to catch up with you as we can, talking real estate and anything else, life unrestricted, because I know you guys have been just crazy busy with all the businesses. So you'll join us when you can. You're our real estate expert.
While we get some things done, but we'll definitely pop back in and give you some real estate news as needed.
We love you guys. You guys are awesome. You've always supported our show. You guys are amazing people. We talk about it all the time. We're grateful. Steve Strict with New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage. Kathy Helbig Strict, of course, with Experience Real Estate Partners. Guys, try to enjoy the time with Elena. I know it's such a busy time. She's a great young girl, and damn, she actually wants your attention. You guys have done something right.
We're trying.
All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bye.
Kathy and Steve, love them. Support them. Give them a call. They've supported our show forever. If you have any questions, give them a call. We run their phone numbers over and over and over again, and you're not going to find anybody that knows more about the business than them.
That's correct. They are just a beautiful couple. They truly are.
This is canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well. Lots to cover. We got into the bridge situation and Lara Logan. What else is going on now? The P. Diddy situation, it's getting stranger. One of his friends, Brendan Paul, was also arrested on Monday when they did the quote house takeover, is basically what P. Diddy and his lawyer said. But they arrested him for drugs. They said he's kind of the drug mule of P. Diddy. Marijuana, cocaine was found. So, I mean, he was released on bond. He got out. But then Prince Harry's name is released.
Of course.
Prince Harry has been sued in the same civil lawsuit for sexual whatever.
Right.
Every part of harassment and assault with P. Diddy.
And that's interesting. I knew they were both on the Epstein list, and I knew that they both have been accused of things with sex trafficking, but them together is something until just yesterday, I didn't even realize that they're linked together.
And then
that's some crazy stuff.
If anybody knows where P. Diddy is, let us know. I mean, but his attorney spoke yesterday. P. Diddy spoke through his attorney. And he gave it, and he said basically, quote, this was them yesterday on Tuesday talking about Monday. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way.
Mm-hmm.
This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. He has not been charged. None of us like to be charged without evidence. And if you're, so what the hell is going on?
Sounds like somebody else we know.
Right. It really sounds interesting, doesn't it? There is a parallel between him and what they did to Donald Trump.
Yeah, but he doesn't like Donald Trump.
No, he doesn't. That's what's so interesting about what Joe just
yeah.
said. Yeah, there shouldn't be a parallel. And it's just so interesting. And he's right. They just detained his sons and friend. They didn't actually arrest him. They did put him in handcuffs, but they were released.
Paul says he went to a country that won't extradite him just in case charges were to come.
Mhm.
At that point in time, he was free to go wherever he wanted to go. Now he has the ability to go to a country that wouldn't extradite him, but let's make sure we know what's happening with everything else.
Correct.
He may have just switched to Republican.
Yeah. If he was smart, he would.
A left-wing dude getting a taste of what Trump went through. Imagine that.
Yeah, that kind of makes your soul a little happy, doesn't it?
But it's still out there. We haven't heard anything from police.
No.
He has not been charged. So just remember, he has not been charged. And then, of course, conspiratorial thoughts and conversations can occur wondering, okay, why did they go to his houses? 3 of them. They arrested a friend of his when they found drugs, and there is civil lawsuits going on. I mean, there are civil lawsuits going on right now. So I really don't know what to make of it, but it is a national story.
Correct.
It's a worldwide story. Where's Diddy and so forth.
Say that again.
Where's Diddy?
I mean, think about how bizarre that even sounds. Where's Diddy?
Where the hell is Diddy?
Where is Diddy?
So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the Diddy situation outside of the fact that Prince Harry involved in the civil lawsuit against P. Diddy for sexual assault.
Yeah. And Paul's saying something that seems right. The elites are finished with him. And that's the only reason why this is happening. And we said that yesterday.
But why would they be fit? What has happened that would make them, quote, be done with him or finished with him? Because maybe all the lawsuits that have been occurring and bringing attention, a lot of us didn't know, but these have been going on for months.
Correct.
Since 2023, almost 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, he's made a career, as Lisa said, of sexual issues, sex trafficking and all of that. I mean, people have known this about him for years, and he just keeps getting by with it.
It is happening. It's another situation that we had to talk about. Also, sadly, I wanted to bring this up too, because there is another guy. We've got his picture, Elvis Hernandez Pimelot. This guy. Yeah, he was arrested and charged with criminal sexual activity abuse by force, aggravated battery by strangulation, and robbery. Guess what? Another illegal.
Of course.
This time, he choked a woman into unconsciousness, sexually assaulted her on the University of Illinois Chicago campus, and then robbed her. And then 3 hours later, he trailed another woman from one of the CTA stations, this public transportation, and attempted to strangle another woman during a robbery. A week prior to this, the police arrested him on a shoplifting allegation, but he was released an hour later. And he has been living, Hernandez Permelades has been living in a Chicago migrant shelter funded by, guess who? You, your taxpayer dollars. Once again, when we find these situations and these stories, we're going to bring them to life. Life's changed forever because of illegals coming into the country, and whether the national media will continue to talk about this or not, we're going to bring it up, which makes me think again, all of a sudden, over the weekend, Russia, I'm just bringing things to the table. We're not talking about the border right now, are we? No, we're talking about a bridge. And over the weekend, Russia started to question the United States' involvement in their brutal attacks. We talked about this on Monday. Was CIA involved? Was something else? Did we work with other people within Russia? And then all of a sudden, what happens? Here comes this big, massive story with a bridge to take your attention away. I've been at this way too long, and people on this show know we bring this stuff up.
They're distractions.
Keep track of the scorecard. Distractions will continue to take your mind off of things that are actually happening that we should. I don't know what happened with Russia, but it is interesting. As soon as the heat started to be turned up on America, another big story happens.
Of course it is. And it's P. Diddy. I mean, this could be a distraction too. We all know that he's been accused of sexual activities, negative activities for a long time, but why now? A lot of people asked that question yesterday. Why now? Why are they doing it now? And the bridge all at the same time. It's distractions from what you were just talking about, Vic, everything going on with foreign affairs and the border.
Yeah, it's enough to piss you off, and it should piss you off with what's going on. This makes me happier, though. Donald Trump, he woke up yesterday. His stock went up 50% yesterday.
That was so cool.
He's now worth 6.5. I think it went up to 6.5 billion.
Yeah.
$7 billion. I mean, the guy, as soon as Truth Social went public, as had been rumored, oh, here we go. Donald Trump's making a ton of money over and over and over again. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to work the system. And he just continues to, guess what? Win.
Yes.
Donald Trump is winning. He is winning all over the place. And then in the midst of all of that going on, Ronna McDaniel, the former, and I think this is coordinated. I don't trust it. I don't care about her, and I don't want to give her a lot of attention because she doesn't deserve it. Ronna McDaniel, former RNC chair, who was immediately hired by NBC, only to be ripped by Democrats who are on the show, so she gets fired. And then there are Democrats who really feel like they showed you Republicans. Let me let you in on a secret. Left, guess what? The Republicans know Ronna McDaniel is not a Republican.
No.
She is not. Donald Trump ripped her up and down, said she got exactly what was coming to her yesterday. He tweeted that out. He put that message out on Truth Social as well. Don't get caught up in that. That's how disjointed the left is.
Correct.
Now, they'll stay with each other and have each other's back when it comes to public issues where Republicans eat each other alive because, unfortunately, Republicans are the more selfish party. They want their money. They don't want to give money to causes. They want to backstab each other, and they have more arrogance and pride than the Democrats do. And that's just what we've seen from a national standpoint. We call Republicans out for that, which is why the show is legit. But Ronna McDaniel is not loved by the right.
No, nobody loves her because she stood for nothing. Literally, she has no one in her camp. The Republicans don't like her, and the left doesn't like her because she just sat on the fence all these years. And I agree with Donald Trump. She's kind of put herself in a position that no one's going to like her, and she did it to herself. She has no one else to blame but herself.
She doesn't. So she's out now, and oh, you Democrats, you did something great. Okay, fine, whatever. If that's your big deal, then so be it. Then Donald Trump yesterday, on top of all the good news, he releases this, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, statement, infomercial, whatever the case may be. But I love the content. Now, this may piss off some of our viewers because they don't want religion and politics to be associated with one another. I'm somebody that just happens to believe, and I've seen what's happened with our country. The more we took God out of this country, the more problems we had. We took prayer out of daily schools and we put in metal detectors. We took away Pledge of Allegiance, and now we're about BLM. I mean, it's no surprise to me why this country has lost its blessings. You can say I'm crazy, whatever. I don't care. There's too much evidence that goes to show this country was founded upon God, whether you like it or not. Now, if I'm upsetting you, so be it. But Donald Trump now talking faith. Do you believe it? Because I know people, oh, it's just a bunch of BS. He's just trying to make money and sell Bibles. Here's Donald Trump talking about God, faith, and the Bible.
Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country. And I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America. Religion and Christianity.
That was beautiful.
Whoa.
Beautiful. And you know
When's
what?
the last time you heard a presidential candidate speak like that?
Yeah, just Donald Trump, because we heard him do that a lot when he was elected in 2016. And then Obama and Biden, they've allowed what I would consider the enemy into the White House, and satanic things even happen in the White House. And then we wonder, why is our country going to hell in a handbasket? If we get Donald Trump back, not only do we get a closed border, we get to talk about our religion more freely than we've been, because now we're crucified for talking about the fact that we're a Christ follower.
Landon says, and this is a fair point, I hope it's more than just a sales pitch. And that's fair.
That is fair. That is fair.
100% fair. Tanya says, if you guys can, please find a way to go live on Truth Social or Frank Speech. Why can't we go live on Truth Social? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I
can't
can
remember.
look into it.
Yeah, we really should be on Truth Social for sure.
I mean, hell, we're always promoting it. We're not
we-
going to find another podcast that has Donald Trump's back as much as we do.
Correct.
We talk about it as much as we can on X, and Elon's back as well.
Mhm.
Damn, we should take the spot that Don Lemon had. Somebody contact Elon. Let him
That's
know.
right. Let's contact Elon. That's right, because Elon has done us a big
ask
favor.
for $1 million each.
That's
it,
right.
Elon.
That's
we won't
right.
ask for $8 million for one person, and we don't need stock. Lizzie's already got the Teslas.
Yeah, I don't, but my kids
I'll
have
get
some
used to
Teslas.
driving an electric. Okay.
Mhm. Well, here's the deal. Like, people make fun of my kids for having Teslas, but my kids, long before, when everybody was saying, oh, he's liberal and he's all that, my kids, 3 of them that have Teslas, were like, no, you're going to see that Elon Musk is actually a conservative. You watch and see.
I disagree with Paul, and we appreciate you guys jumping in. And when we agree and disagree, it's not like in a negative sense. How dare you?
Mhm.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Trump knows that he's lost the evangelical vote over the last 4 years. This was very strategic, him talking about the Bible, and much needed.
I think there's some truth to what
I
Paul
disagree.
is saying.
Who the hell else are evangelicals going to vote for?
Well, here's the deal.
They're not going to not vote for Donald Trump and vote for Joe Biden, or they're not true evangelicals.
But see, that's the thing. The non-true evangelicals were the judgy ones.
He didn't say the non-true evangelicals, though.
Okay, well,
He
good
said
point.
evangelicals.
But there's a lot of people that are evangelical that claim to be evangelical, but they're not really a Christ follower. They're just self-righteous, and they think he's a very flawed man. And then because he's getting all these criminal charges, it did go down a little bit. So there were people that were churchgoers did turn their back on him.
You got Donald Trump.
But you know who they also
A
are?
no
They're
vote.
the Ted Cruz people.
No, you got
That's who they are.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or nobody. Give me.
That's right, or nobody.
Give me a break.
I agree.
That's where it's
That's all you
like-
got. You've got the little twit that falls asleep all the time, or you got this badass guy with big balls who's now telling you to read the Bible.
Balls.
There's no comparison. I think God likes big balls too, because he likes
Balls.
Christian warriors.
Well, God's the creator of all.
Yes, and he created them too.
Paul says, look at the numbers. Pretty sure they didn't endorse him in the last election. I could be wrong. That going back to 2020.
Mhm.
a lot has changed in 4 years.
I agree. I think Paul is right, but I think now all the true
I mean, hell, you've
religious
got
people want
previous
Trump.
black evangelicals going, not
Yep.
with what Joe Biden's doing.
That's
I mean,
right.
they're doing it in the heart of Chicago, for God's sakes, which is a
That's
good
right.
thing, I believe, as well, because those things do happen.
Yes.
Donald Trump, by the way, I have to correct that. He's now just worth under 10 billion.
Oh, that is wonderful.
9.8
wonderful.
billion. And by the way, that's the good news. By the way, even though with his appeal bond being reduced to about 175 million, just remember that Bernie Madoff, who arguably orchestrated the biggest ripoff scheme, Ponzi scheme in the history of the world, only had a $10 million bond. Just remember that. If anybody, Trump's so bad, just remember Bernie Madoff only had a $10 million bond.
Wow.
After everything that he did and all the victims, and Donald Trump didn't have any victims.
No victims.
No victims. Only people who won.
That's
Banks
right.
who won, people who won. So those things going on. Another deal. This is what we wanted to get to before we get to Ham coming up later. This show is Cancel This. We have wanted to speak out and let people and cover all sides of a story. We're not people out here going, yeah, yelling, cussing, yeah, listen to us. We just want to bring truth to stories and truth to society and tell those stories and cancel culture in every spot. That being said, remember a few years ago when Joe Rogan started speaking out against the on his shows and became very popular against the pandemic. Remember when he started speaking out about evidence regarding cupcakes? Remember when he started talking about ivermectin and everybody in the main media tried to cancel him out? And everybody's like, and because I remember we had that one guy, I don't even call him by name because he's going down, he's going to be fired, that used to join our show, hardcore left Democrat. Who I feel bad for him because I don't know what's happened to him in life. Something bad.
I do. I don't
even
even
know.
Feel bad for him.
I don't
too.
know if he was born with a full set of cards anyway.
Maybe not.
But he's canceled. He's done. And you know what? Joe Rogan stood up to it and beat them down. He was never fired. He got an extension from Spotify. And now we find out some more of the people that had him behind the scenes. How about this for having good friends? Dana White, president of the UFC, one of the most popular sports organizations in our world, said, you know what? Dana White started, and you know what? He's like, for the first year and a half, Joe Rogan worked for no money. He did all that he's like, because when you start a business, you can't, he's like, there's no money to be made. He's like, this is a long haul situation.
That is very true.
And he's like, and I learned a lot about Joe Rogan. And then when Joe Rogan was attacked, Dana White explains how he had his back. Listen to this when it comes to a cancel culture story of Dana White stopping it, because Dana could have run and hid.
He sure could have,
but he didn't.
And it's one of the things about Rogan too. When early on, nobody understood the ground game. Joe Rogan would walk you through what was happening literally before it would happen. He would tell you the setup, what was going to come next, and everything, and just absolutely articulate it perfectly, brilliantly, and people at home started to understand. And the impact that Joe Rogan has had and continues to have on this sport is immeasurable. He's the biggest podcaster in the world, and he is on the UFC pay-per-views, 14 times a year, and he's always talking about the sport. It's immeasurable what this guy has done for this company and the sport.
Yeah, still to this day. Like, I'll have dinner with him offline. He'll just talk fighting.
Yep.
He just loves it.
It's true.
Loves every aspect of it.
Yep. Joe Rogan is one of those guys. I saw that early on when, why would you go after the fear factor guy?
Yeah.
To be such a key component to not only the company, but to the sport. I saw it in the fucking interview on Ivory Keenan-Wayans.
I value loyalty a lot. And I remember there was a moment not too long ago, maybe a year ago, when I was sitting with Joe and he had a phone call with you. Joe was getting canceled for something. And they didn't want him commentating the fights. and you on the phone offered your resignation over this. I got teary-eyed over that. That's such a... You're a good man, you know?
Thank you.
That was powerful.
Anybody who is with me, has been with me, knows. When you're with me, you're with me. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. I'm not one of these guys that is going to roll over and it's like going through COVID. I wasn't laying any of these people. Some of these people have been with me for 20 years. We're gonna lay them off. This motherfucker will burn
Yeah.
before I would do that to my people. It's just never, none of that type of stuff is ever going to happen while I'm here. I can't say what's going to happen when I leave, but when I'm here, the people who are with me and have been with me, they know exactly what's up, and Joe knows what's up, and again, it's a two-way street. Joe Rogan has been very loyal to me, and I am very loyal to Joe Rogan.
That is beautiful because, Vic, we talk about that here. Loyalty is literally everything, because without it, I see that even with Donald Trump. This is even talking about when we were talking about Donald Trump earlier. Years ago, I took a class from Trump University on business, and I learned something that he said, and loyalty. That was like his number one thing, that if you're literally working, because I owned a business for years, and I sometimes would hear my employees talk bad about me or something, and I tried to then win them over. Something I learned in Trump University was if they talk bad about the person that's running the business or even any one of their friends or family, they're gone. You warn them once and say loyalty is everything. And then after that, they're gone. And I learned that from Donald Trump. And going to this, this video that you just played, there isn't enough loyalty these days. There just isn't. And it's everything. It's actually everything.
Lots of people will tell you things. And especially in life, when it comes to cancel culture, I mean, this goes without cancel culture, but that was a cancel culture moment.
Yes.
Because Joe Rogan's like, I'm going to speak out about truth. And everything that Joe Rogan said was proven to be true anyway, as we see now regarding the pandemic, the cupcakes, chivermectin, and everything. And then when you have friends and business partners that have your back as well, it's like, my God. And you don't forget what people do for you either.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn brings up Trump gave Dana a huge break by hosting UFC fights when no one else would. Once again, excuse me, another loyalty story. Guess who got the UFC off the ground? Donald Trump.
You betcha.
He's like, you can't find a place. You come to my place and you can hold your fights. And they developed a relationship. Dana White says, I can't tell you how many people I had advertisers and have had advertisers when we got huge in recent times say, if you do this with Donald Trump, we're backing out. And he's like, go for it.
Go for it.
He literally said,
go for it.
His quote was, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I told this massive business, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he's like, guess what? They didn't leave.
Yeah, of course they didn't.
They still want to be a part of it when it comes to money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe, what are you telling me? I'm sorry. What
Lizzie sent me something that has a chivermectin ad on it. If it's a screenshot, it looks like.
Yeah, if you want to show that while you're saying it, this is interesting. You were just talking about chivermectin.
Yes.
And when you pulled up Rumble, I thought this was very interesting. The ad for our show is this.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
They put it with us.
They put it with us.
Well,
they have linked us with that.
People are starting to figure us out.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. On the way here, I got this sent actually by my husband. And he's like, okay, here you go. Now it begins. And this is good.
Well, it also shows we're being listened to.
That's right.
Yeah.
In a good way. Because Rumble, I don't worry about that they're going to cancel us, but they know what we're talking about. So the people at Rumble know what we say.
So does this mean that we can actually say the word now?
No, only on Rumble.
If
we only were on Rumble, we could do that, or Truth Social. Right. But all of our other platforms, we have to say things like chive. Or mech.
Yeah. And so it's about loyalty and remembering and having somebody's back. Trump had the UFC's back. They've had his back now. Dana White and Joe Rogan had each other's back.
Love it. Love the loyalty thing.
And it took a long time, but they became amazingly wealthy and successful. And not only in just in putting on fights, but now helping change a culture, change political culture, educating people on stories and ideas and news that doesn't get out there through mainstream media, either local or national. So yes, it has been a long time coming. But then you see, listen, friendship is friendship. And I can't tell you, and we've talked about it, whether it's in a cancel culture situation or in business, my God, has it been an eye-opening experience in the last year. You're gonna have trying to start a business, and all the people that say they'll do this for you or talk about you behind your back or rip you, and they don't even know you because they're jealous or they don't want you to succeed or take any advertising from them, even though you're all on the same
We're all on the same team
in the community. Allegedly, it has blown my freaking mind.
Me too. Well, and Vic, working here with you is completely mind-blowing to me, because most people in the same industry about anything are so competitive. They don't want to see the other people win. And in the conservative industry, I am shocked when I see that we're not all on the same team, with even in the same thing with media or radio or podcasting. People fight amongst themselves. And then when I came here,
not even in the same city.
Yeah. I mean, when I came here, you want everyone to win. You don't say bad thing about other conservative shows. You want everyone to win. You want a team. And that's what it should be. We should all be on the same team for America.
Yeah. So it's a cancel culture story, but it's also a story about loyalty. And whatever you're in life, in doing whatever it is, it becomes kind of that inspirational part of our show as well, as we lead into Ham, which is what he has done. And as a business owner, been very inspirational, what he's been able to accomplish. So, that's a little bit about who we are and what has happened. And it does get me excited when I see what's happening in the UFC and people like that. This is another moment that should make you feel sick. This is Joe Biden. He had another moment yesterday. I'm telling you, anytime he's in front of a mic, something bad is going to happen, unless he has a week or 2 weeks to prepare for a speech. Regarding the Key Bridge collapse, here's Joe Biden talking, and listen to what he says. He claimed that he used to take a train over the Key Bridge, car or train.
Oh my gosh.
Earth to Joe Biden. The bridges never had tracks. And I mean, he's already talking like this. Just listen to the soundbite. This is so damn despicable.
At about 1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware, either on a train or by car. At about 1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware, either on a train or by car.
A bullshit? It is absolute BS. It's like, did he just say that? Is that literally the leader of the free world? Vic, I mean, what the hell? Are we living in the Twilight Zone? That was our president of the United States of America that just said that. I can't even.
Normally, I first laughed and get sick. When I saw this, now it's just he's a.
Yeah, I didn't even laugh. I didn't even laugh this time. I was.
Joe
really
is a
upset.
flat out lie.
Yeah,
he's been lying his whole life.
Yeah,
and then trying to use a tragedy, and then some people think conspiracy. Whatever, cyber attack, whatever. Think what you want, but using something like that and lying.
Yeah.
I know his cognitive ability is destroyed, but to flat out lie about it as well, and to not come back and never change, never just anything from that standpoint.
Well, you know what happened. Glenn says he rode the train with Corn Pop.
Yeah.
Now that makes you want to go laugh a little bit, because it's just unreal.
I just want to get out because we welcome all comments in. By the way, Paul says 25% of coal exports also come out of that Baltimore port.
Yeah.
Makes you think from a business standpoint.
Sure does.
Just if it was coincidence, it's really bringing America to its knees. Just coincidence. Only 2 spots in a mile-long area could be hit to take it down, and there you go. Makes you wonder what's happening. We're also told that a lot of other countries are reporting on his gaffes more than the United States. Obviously, we do.
They are.
We're just trying to bring attention. We want to bring every side of a story to the media. And that's why we continue to grow. That's why we continue to have more and more people listening, not only throughout the St. Louis area, but across the country, because people know you're going to get the truth. Whether we show you the Joe Rogan interviews and Dana White and Joe Biden, everything else, or when it comes to Trump, we're doing everything we can. By the way, this is Cancel This Show.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe. On Wednesdays, we catch up on our Weed Wednesday segment with our good friend, superior businessman, Ham Hurrah. Ham, the CEO, owner of Route 66 Cannabis. My friend, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. How have you been?
I'm tired, but good.
Oh, you're tired.
Wednesday.
Is business that good? It's racing you all around? Or did you actually have a night to yourself for a change?
No night to myself. It's we've had 2 days of business meetings here in St. Louis. So just kind of product development and thinking about how we're going to expand a little bit. So it's just, it's like one of those things you just throw everyone in the room and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and no one leaves until you guys figure something out, right? So yeah, that's why my voice is a little.
Well, I guess that's from a business standpoint too, but that's why you said you've succeeded in business, you failed in business, but you learn every step of the way.
You do.
And we talk a lot of, obviously, we promote Route 66 dispensary. You're not going to find a better dispensary in the state of Missouri than what Ham and his crew have done with Route 66 dispensary. Not only the products, but the quality of products. And then, of course, the Cubana line, the Ostara line, which you can not only find in the Route 66 dispensaries, 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, but also find in several dispensaries across the state. So it's good to be wanted, Ham. It's good to be busy and figure out, man, we're doing well. How the hell are we going to expand? I did have a question to ask. Does this have anything to do with cannabis or your business? I read this in a paper the other day. Effort to regulate sales of hemp-derived cannabis faces resistance in the Missouri Senate. Does this even make sense? Did you hear about this? How does it play into the cannabis industry in the Missouri area or nationally?
I heard a little bit about it last night, nothing in detail.
I'm just confused. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really caught up on it 100%, but it's just funny. Everyone's trying to come up with different ways to sneak something else into Missouri, right? You've got people that want to grow at home and then sell to other people that grow at home and have like little mini dispensaries, and it's not going to work.
Black market.
No, legal. They want, like having like these micro dispensaries. But the problem is you're not going to be able to make any money because the compliance and the security behind it is such a high level, right? So
so they want to make this legal to have micro dispensaries.
Correct. And they already have. But the problem is everyone that thinks like they've hit a home run, they don't realize what goes behind it. So we're a true dispensary, right? We're not a CBD shop. We can manufacture, because I have a manufacturing license and a grow license, which is cultivation. We grow and we sell and manufacture to other dispensaries, and this other dispensaries sell to us. So when you guys walk into any of our dispensaries or any other dispensaries in the state of Missouri, there's product variety, right? With these micro dispensaries, there's not going to be product variety. They can't buy from us. They're not allowed to, right? I love it. Great. So what are you going to buy? Right?
Good point.
You've got, Joe's homemade, and I don't need to be using Joe's name, but Joe's homemade gummies and Cindy's, homemade weed, she's grown, and that's it. That's your variety. That doesn't work, right? On top of it, you still have the same amount of legal costs and security costs. So I just hate to see that be set up like that, because people are eventually going to fail because it's such an expensive business to operate unless you have revenue coming in at a high level to offset it. So you're just going to see folks that are going to give it an attempt, lose their money, and it makes me sad because I don't want to see anyone lose their money, in a business, because I've gone through it before.
Yeah,
right? I don't wake up in the morning, I'm like, how do I put someone out of business? I just say, how do I compete? How do I produce more, right? And how do we offer a product that no one else does? But I want my competition to do well too. Competition is healthy.
Yeah, but you're different.
Really is.
Ham, you're different. Not only are you smart, but you have a heart. You really do. And not just saying it because you're here. If I didn't know you and I met you, and the first time I met you, I was like, damn, this guy, he gets it. This guy is legit. And obviously it's turned over into your business as well. And you see that, and you see the success. And for our viewers, we're showing you again his site, Route 66 Dispensary. By the way, you are accepting applications still, right? As you guys continue to grow?
Yeah, as we continue to grow, we continually accept applications. There's lots of opportunity, and for anyone that's just trying to get into the cannabis industry, and I have friends that call me like, well, I have managerial experience and I want to be a manager. Well, that works in a lot of industries. If you've never smoked weed, sold weed, or even understand how to spell the word cannabis, you can't just be a manager in cannabis, right? I'm glad you have that experience and that's helpful.
Yeah.
But imagine,
I bet you've gotten
including
applications
myself,
with
right?
cannabis spelled wrong, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But including myself, right? I know enough to run the business and understand it, but I can promise you, and I tell our managers, if I was a bud tender for one day, I only know like 4 things, like product wise, that I like, because I haven't like gotten into all the other products. Because these guys that work in these stores, God bless them, man, they're trying products too. Now they're not getting stoned at work, but they get samples, they go home, they try things, and they're like those wine experts, you know. They know everything. They'll tell you, they'll break it down, be like, this one's got a little bit of grape, this one's got a little bit of, you know, the peach flavor, or it's the terpenes are different. And that's what people want when they go into a dispensary. When you want an expert to tell you like what each strand does or different products, not, oh, well, I like that gummy. That one's pretty good. Try that one. Like, it's not that easy, right? It just isn't. And you wouldn't want that anyway.
Question from the chat line. Ham, do you judge how tight your people roll the joints, by the way?
Well, yes, actually, there's a method to it, and it's all, we're not rolling joints at the stores. It's all done at our manufacturing facility. But just so everyone knows, so when anything that we do, then it goes to a testing lab.
By the way, is that done by a human that rolls the joint, or is that a machine?
Well, it's a machine, so it's a little cone, right? And then we fill it by hand.
Okay.
Right. There's still a little bit of craftsmanship that goes behind it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just interested in the whole process and how it works.
There is machines out there that do it all. We like to be a little bit different. Yeah, there's a little bit more time consuming, but I know we always think robots are going to take over the world, and they probably will, but not by the time I'm here.
Yeah, I was at I went to a dinner just real quick last night at Ameristar, the sports bar at Ameristar. They serve your food with robots. I showed video of it to start the show. Literally a robot. No servers are bringing food to your table. It's a robot playing
with music.
with weird music.
Okay, so you're gonna get me off track, but I'm willing to take this little off road with you.
Okay,
right?
We'll get back to cannabis.
No, this is good. It's still business at the end of the day, and man, that's crazy.
Why
right?
did you see something happen?
I was on the road a few weeks ago. It was a day trip, and we've all been on the road. We've gotten hungry, right? And those that are like really against the whole fast food world, right? And it's not that I don't like fast food. Period. I mean, once in a while we have that crave. I'm just not a every day, and I know people every day they go through McDonald's and Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. That's great for them. It's just not my thing, right? Because I'm efficiency. Like I could just go buy groceries, save money. It works. But I'm on the road and I didn't take any snacks, and here I am, starving, and I see a sign for Taco Bell. Now I'm a sucker for Taco Bell back when I was in college, right? And I'm a simple Taco Bell guy. Just bean burrito, a couple crunchy tacos, mild sauce, and a Diet Coke. I mean, it's a in college, I mean, it was like heaven. Now it's like, oh man, just talking about it sounds good for me.
Yeah, it does me too. I'm salivating over here.
But I know Taco Bell's not good for you. We all know that, right? I get it. So I pull to the side. I see the Taco Bell. I walk in. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, it's been like 5 years since I had Taco Bell.
I bet you were really excited.
Right? I'm like, man, first of all, I look at the menu. I'm like, bean burritos $1.89. It's like, when did that happen? It used to be 89 cents.
That's right.
So inflation first hits me as I walk in, right? Then I'm just standing there, and finally someone comes from the back. They're like, doing this, like, what's up? Like, what do you mean, what's up? I want to.
I guess you didn't know about the little kiosk.
They're like, I want to order some food. They're like,
I'm here to eat.
No. See that thing behind you, that big giant laptop looking thing? You put your order in there, and then we call your name. And then what do? I just tell you to do that.
So they didn't take any orders inside.
I don't take orders.
No orders. Yeah.
So now think about it. Now I am reading the menu. Okay. And maybe it's because I don't know Taco Bell like I used to.
Right.
I'm hitting the first thing is I look for that little silly search button, right? Like type in with 2 fingers, because it's not like a computer board.
Right.
I'm like, bean burrito. I'm like, is this voice activated? Because it would be a lot easier.
I bet this
Was anybody
funny.
else there
No.
like watching you or
No.
Because that would have been funny to have had that videotaped.
Then it's like, how do you, next step, do you have a coupon? No, I don't have a coupon. I don't even know Taco Bell had coupons. Then you pay. Then I'm like, what do I do? Like, I look around, like, where's the cups?
Mm-hmm.
No cups. So you just tell them what you want. Then they give you the cup afterwards, right? With your food. Like, you know, the old school days, you order, you get your cup. By the time you fill up your cup, you put the lid, you get your napkins, you find your seat, your order's called. You're like, all right. Now I'm like, now I'm off rhythm. Like, where's my Diet Coke? They're like, oh, you get that with your order. So when your order's ready, we'll give you the cup. Like, why can't I have it now? Like, what's the problem?
oh my god, because I guess people abusing the system, trying to get extras.
theft.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. And I see the comment, Taco Bell's not cheap anymore. You're right. I think it was like 14 something. And then it asked me if I wanted the tip. I was like, tip for what?
Tip
Here's a
for
tip.
tip yourself.
Put
Yeah,
a
tip
human
yourself.
back up there.
My God, that is crazy.
Oh.
Well, look at, I mean,
But think about this. Just think about this for 1 second. So we talk about inflation. The price of Taco Bell and all fast food chains have gone up, right?
Yeah.
This all happened during COVID because why? Because everybody was like, we're not making enough money. So now we started printing money. Again, not to get off track. So now you got workers that we were saying we're going to give you $17, $18, $19, $20 an hour, right?
Yeah.
Well, where do you make that up? You can't buy 89 cents iced tea anymore. Now it's $2,
Mhm.
$3, right? We're different places. But now the restaurants are winning because they've gotten rid of the humans.
Right.
But guess what? The food price didn't go down. They got rid of the labor. So it's reverse psychology. They got you to think, well, we got to cover all these people that are working because they need better wages. Now they're cutting the people.
Mhm.
The prices are the same. Now a machine's doing it.
You know what? This is
Correct.
this
Think about that.
reminds me, and I think
You're
you know
right.
what? Maybe you just have this gift to notice things that are happening. But last week you reminded us about organic. Just think about
Yeah.
organic. Nothing's being done to it, but you're paying more because it's
It says the word organic.
natural,
Yeah.
a natural process. But now we're going to pay more for organic.
We didn't pay for a plane to spray things over. We didn't have people walk through the fields and spray things, labor, chemicals, all that. But the price of pepper is more. The price of tomato is more. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we had somebody that said, "Ham, are you going to be at?" Well, I'm trying to figure out which store it was at 1 or 1.
DePere. It was
Oh,
at
the DePere store. Would you be at the store at 1 or 1:30 today?
Wow. Now you guys want my locations. I'm like, I can't be like Jason Bourne. You can't.
Yeah, they want your location. Somebody wants to be at the DePere location in between 1 and 1:30, and they just want to know if you were going to be
Well,
there.
I
It was
actually might,
Lisa.
yeah, I actually might be there today.
Can somebody say hi to you? or
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Lisa's coming, so she'll see you then if you're
Lisa,
there.
I'm telling you, if I'm there between 1 and 1:30 and you're not there, I'm gonna call you out on the next one.
Yeah,
That's-
do call her. Call
I'm
her
kidding.
right
I'm
out.
so kidding. I'm kidding.
Glenn says he loves your dissection of business and business cost when you come in and talk about that as well. I mean, it's not easy. Everybody says, "Oh, it's great to own a cannabis industry." Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes into that to be, one of the most successful dispensaries in the state of Missouri and one of the most successful states in the country. So you break that out and you got to have great products, and people love the products at Route 66 dispenser, and you've got hundreds of different things to do. All I had to hear was Joe say, and Joe, in a respectful manner, you're a connoisseur of cannabis. And you hear people say, well, I'm a wine expert. Joe is a weed expert. He's a cannabis expert. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I go to Route 66 dispensary. And that was before you even came onto the show, I think, wasn't it? Or did you start after?
It was after
you heard about
after the Winsville location
Okay.
opened up, and I just like to educate myself on what I put in my body.
Yeah.
This is where this is going, and I love hearing that plant-based is the way it's going to be, right? When it comes to modern medicine. And it's just,
It can't get here soon enough.
My biggest fear is that big pharma at some point is going to push all of us out,
Mhm.
right? Because it only takes a handful of bigger companies, cannabis companies, to sell the big pharma, and then you almost don't have a choice. And that's the sad part, right? And I hope that never happens, but
That's a worst case scenario.
but I'm a realist. When this thing
Mhm.
passes across the country, and it will happen. Now I
I
have
mean, when it becomes legal federally.
correct, but you will still have state regulations, and you got God bless Kansas, boy, they hold strong. They're like, we don't want any weed here, and we don't care. In Johnson County, we have 700,000 people, and they're driving to Missouri all day long to buy marijuana, and then driving it back into our state. I'm like, because it's not legal there, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they're just giving away money, right? They're just giving it away in their tax dollars.
Well, it makes me wonder what's happening, but I do know that you guys are super successful. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. We've been showing that on the screen. We've been running the website, route66cannabis.com. You can check them out on Instagram as well. You see him on Wednesdays at Ostara Cannabis as well, route66cannabis.com, at route66canna on Instagram, and at Ostara Cannabis on IG as well. You guys have so many darn products. Your name's being known. People are talking about it all over the place. And of course, it's because you guys are putting the best products out there. If you don't put the best products out there, then people aren't going to come back. I mean, it's pretty simple business strategy, I would assume.
Yeah, there's a lot of, great companies that are putting great products out there, and we enjoy it. And then there's still, even with all the regulations and stuff, there's still people trying to slide in stuff that are not supposed to be here.
Michelle says she already has the app downloaded on her phone as well. You guys have an app that you encourage people to use too.
Yeah, so here let's talk about that if we have a few minutes. So
of course,
if you
of course
download the app, it's going to update you with specials. You can also save your favorites. But if you've never been in the store, or if you've never had the app and then you download and go in there, we give you a free pre-roll. So if you have the app, go in there. And people, like I told you, like it was about a month ago, my daughter's like, why are you giving that away? Because, she's on Instagram, she saw it, and she's like, what's the price? Because you got to remember, it's kids, right? And I'm like, okay, we can't really say weed on Instagram because Instagram is so heavily regulated, which is so funny. I mean, it's a California-based company.
And it's
They're
so
the gateway
regulated.
to like helping everyone like get legal. I mean, Zuckerberg smokes a doobie, right?
Of course he does.
God forbid we talk about it, and he's like freaking out. But you go in, you get your free joint, your pre-roll, but it's really for us to introduce you, A, to the app because it's efficiency, B, is to introduce you to our product so you can see if you like it or not, right? And the other thing we're working on in our Dogtown location, not sure how many people here go to our Dogtown location, but our next move is to put our drive-through there because that was an old Taco Bell building that we converted. Obviously, now you know why I like Taco Bell.
No, that's right. That seems apropos.
So we would want to, that's our next plan, is to put a drive-through so you can order ahead of time and then you could just drive through and pick it up. Now, what everyone's like, some of my friends are like, oh, this is going to be great. Like I could just be in line and I can order my stuff. I'm like, no, we're not going to have menu boards because the difference between a dispensary and a Chick-fil-A, for example, is Chick-fil-A's got what, 15, 20 items,
right?
And they're all grouped together, right? I'll take a 4 minus the fries, give me a salad, whatever. Well, in the cannabis world, you know how long the line would be if someone was in line? They're like, well, what else do you have?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, that would be terrible.
Yeah, 700 different products some days, right? But it's for efficiency. A lot of people right now are ordering online, and I watch it. It's so funny. They don't want to be seen in a dispensary, so they come in with hats and glasses and a coat.
Are they really?
And they zip and they pre-order, so they're like this. They're like, and they don't want to make eye contact. And then they get it. And I mean, they bolt out of there. And I'm like, you're not committing a crime. I mean,
I think people are conditioned to think that it's a crime, even though they know it's legal.
From the chat line, most smart people partake in cannabis. Glenn says it's just like Walgreens. Mick says I go there twice a week. Yeah, so I mean, people are. I mean, you're doing it.
I have friends that, I mean, again, I wish my dispensaries were everywhere, but I have friends that have turned into cannabis connoisseurs. They like cannabis and they're drinking less. They feel better, right? And when I say that, it's not like they come home every night, they're lighting one up, but like,
and Joe just put up your Route 66 app.
I appreciate
as well.
it. But like, Friday, Saturday night, like those Star Tabs we talked about.
Yeah. It's
equivalent to a glass and a half of wine. And some people, they chew on it and they'll have another one. They drink their water and, it's cleaner for them. They don't want that, fogginess in the morning. And I'm not here to say don't drink. I mean, I love a good glass of wine. I love my bourbons and tequilas. I'm not here to advocate, for people to stop drinking, but some people are saying it's just a better alternative for them.
Another piece of advice for people as well. We had somebody else on the chat line say they order their Route 66 online and then they come in and pick up their order.
Yeah, that's we're actually seeing like a pretty significant increase in the online ordering process. We put them in a little brown baggie with your receipt. You come in If you come in that day, then it's available for you. If not, we have to actually put it back into the system because you haven't paid for it yet. We can't accept payment over the phone or online. And interesting thing, we switched over to very generic baggies because we started noticing the trend that people just don't want you to know what they have in their bag. And a lot of dispensaries out there are, I mean, they've got their whole logo on there. And, you know, there's a whole argument like, well, I'm advertising, and when this thing leaves my store, everyone knows,
right,
you know, where you got it from. But think about it. If you're a mom picking up your child from school, you want to pick up the bag. It's in a brown bag. It's stapled, right? Your daughter or son doesn't know what's in there. And it's not that you're ashamed of it, but if they're 12, you just don't want them to know what it is, right? It's no different than our prescription medicine, right?
Right.
We don't go get our prescription medicine and say, hey, everybody, look, I got a bag of Adderall. Look what I'm doing today, right? So I hear the messaging where people want to advertise. Just not my thing.
Well, Ham, before we let you go today too, I wanted to show you this video of a robot. It's this thing. This is what showed up at the table.
Oh my gosh.
This is over to Maristar, and listen to the music it was playing.
Okay, you know the show before the show music that you guys were talking.
Server. I literally turned around and got video of this for the show. The food showed up first, then the server made it over about 30 seconds later. So then the food goes to your table. The server comes over and takes it and puts it on your table. You're sitting there going, do I grab the food? Does somebody? So the server then came over.
That's interesting.
Then the server brought the bill.
Remember what's happening in our country. Everything is done for a reason. They're conditioning you for the next thing.
Correct. I agree. They are conditioning you for the next thing.
They're just conditioning you.
That's right.
Pretty soon, the robot is you, right?
Right.
Oh my
right. Gosh, that's a scary thought.
Hey, by the way, before you get out too, we also had somebody say they love your Wentzville store. Great job in Wentzville.
Oh, thank you so much. That's actually now become our #1 store. Who would have thought?
Well, that's because of Joe.
I was just gonna say.
Yes, that's because of Joe. That's Joe's store.
Let me do a little shout out to the Wentzville folks.
Yo, Wentzville.
Wentzville. No, really. I think it's because of the extended hours. It took some time to get Wentzville up and running because we were not allowed to put the word dispensary out there for a long time. Right?
In Wentzville?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you had to go through political channels, didn't you?
So it's just still says Route 66. They said that they don't want, there's a school bus that goes by. And I'm like,
Yeah, but there's Bud Light ads everywhere.
I giggle in 2024 when someone says, well, we don't want that because so-and-so or this group can go by. And my reaction is, everyone's got a cell phone and it's called Google search.
Right.
You think these kids and these adults that are very closed-minded with stuff, you don't think they're just like, what is that? They just Google it.
They Google it in. They do.
I mean, come on.
Oh, we get it. Hey, Ham, it's awesome. Route 66 dispensary, route66cannabis.com. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. You're not going to find a better dispensary. Check them out. All kinds of way to buy. He also gives you breaks. Check out the app, the Route 66 app. Always a joy getting the education that we get from you, my friend. Thanks again.
Thanks.
We love it.
Oh, my new strand's coming out soon.
Oh, you buried the lead. What's going on? What was the name of it again?
It's called Poppy Ham. P-A-P-I.
Poppy Ham. I love it. Poppy Ham.
I only had one request when I started a cannabis company that I would have a strand named after me. And the reason it's Poppy is because I'm a dad. I didn't want to call it Daddy Ham because in a weird way.
That sounds like you're hanging out with P. Diddy if you say that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's next week's conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
So I also didn't want to be like, but so you add the word Poppy, it's kind of got like a little bit of a flavor, kind of like Cubana, right? And like it's got a little bit of a flavor.
Got a good ring to it.
But it tested like in the high 30s. So it is.
It's heavy.
It'll be for you.
Yeah.
So Joe's going to go in real soon as it comes out and say, I need me some Poppy Ham.
Heavy Poppy.
And it's been in testing and grow for like 6 months. So I've had to keep this really quiet because obviously we wanted to see like where it does. And, you want to make sure that the seeds pop right and mother plant. There's all these, chemistry stuff behind it that I'm not the guy for that. But I hear it's pretty amazing. I'm supposed to get a little free sample of it this week.
Oh, nice.
Because we can't sell it yet because it's in the testing stage. And the people that I guess tested it, said, wow. So I'm like, who would have thought?
Well, you're getting some people excited about it already.
If you need somebody to do a review,
I know. I already trust me. You're on my list of reviews.
That's right. He's going to be the review guy.
Yeah.
Poppy Ham's review.
Yeah. I'll hook you up.
Sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ham and Ra, he is the owner of Route 66 Dispensary. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks,
we appreciate it. We'll be catching up with you, and congrats on all the success with arguably the best dispensary in the state of Missouri.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks,
all right.
everyone.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. We catch up with the Ham on Wednesdays. Always good to get the education that we get and see where that's come from a business standpoint. And congrats to Ham on his own strain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I do like the name. That's a pretty cool name.
I bet he came up with that without having to go to AI.
I'm sure. Yeah, there was no AI involved.
Poppy strain.
Uh-huh.
Poppy strain all over the place.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. It's we've had a terrific show again. All kinds of things. I'm trying to think. There's just so much. Oh, by the way, I had to get this out there. I don't think it deserves a ton of attention, but if anybody was thinking that RFK would be junior, would be different, nope, not happening. RFK announced who his running mate would be. Her name is Nicole Shanahan. She's one of the most extremist left political people you could possibly imagine.
That's right.
This is why I credit Charlie Kirk because a lot of people jumped on RFK bandwagon. He's like, well, what about the Supreme Court? And he refused to say what kind of nominees.
Yeah, that's when I knew I wasn't a fan.
The reason he wouldn't say it is because he is ultra left liberal.
Yeah,
ultra
he really is.
Ultra left liberal. So once again, and by the way, Nicole Shanahan not only is one of the most hardcore extremist left people in politics that you can imagine, she donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to D.A. Gascon in L.A., the prosecutor in L.A., who was literally letting criminals out of jail, not prosecuting, saying that we needed to reimagine policing. And she was one of his biggest supporters.
Wow.
And that's who RFK Jr. chose. So I don't want to hear any more bullshit about RFK Jr. being really good for this country. At the end of the day, RFK is a plant.
Yep.
And he showed us with this situation with his running mate.
That's disappointing. It really is. Because there's
out
a
of
lot
all
of people,
the choices.
I know. He could have picked so many people. And there's several people on our chat line that really thought he could.
Well, I said he's good with COVID.
That's it, though. I think that's it.
And the pandemic, but man, he's still Democrat.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
No, that's exactly. There's a lot of people on our chat line because of exactly what you said, because of the pandemic and his reaction to COVID. They really thought he would be a good counterpart to Trump, who a lot of people think maybe he didn't do what we would have liked him to do during that period of time. But once he came out and wouldn't answer, the Supreme Court judges, right there, I knew, okay, that he's a no. And then now you tell us this? Unreal.
But it came out yesterday with all the other news coming on. I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, and Bindy's saying who will take votes away? Who will he take votes away from, Biden or Trump? I think it's Biden.
With that running mate?
Yeah, it's Biden.
100%.
Yeah, nobody's going to vote for him. Nobody. Not on the conservative side.
Yeah, I agree with the chat line that's coming in now saying it only helps Donald Trump.
I agree.
100%.
Yes.
Anyway.
They're doing everything wrong, Vic. I mean, the left is doing everything wrong.
Why would they do so much wrong?
They do, because they're evil and they're not very smart. Their evil overtakes their brain.
I know you had a lot going on today. Thanks for racing in.
That's good.
As fast as you did. We are grateful for that. Projo, great job as always. Thank you for showing us you.
There he is.
We love it when we get to see you.
Well, your show before the show and at the end of the show.
That's right. That's right.
I'll pop in if I have something lengthy to say.
Well, and Joe, that's why I was speeding in here. I just figured if I got pulled over, I was just going to name drop your name and Vic's name, and you would have fixed it.
Sure.
So that's what happened.
Yep, that would work.
It would work.
Hey guys, that is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. We appreciate you Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Always looking for your support. We love it when you guys support us whatever way you possibly can, in every way. Tomorrow we've got Chanel Rion on the show from OAN.
I can't wait.
Looking forward to have her back on again. She was fantastic. Will she be joining us from DC? Do you know? Or
you know what? I think so. Or Maryland. One or the other. I'm not. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but she has a whole studio in her house.
Yeah, and she sometimes does the studio there in DC. It just sometimes gives a problem because they blocked it. When she does that.
I remember.
Yeah. So, but we're all good.
Oh, well.
9:30 tomorrow. Chanel will be here.
All right.
Well, video
8:30.
chat.
I thought it's 8:30, 9:30 Eastern.
You know what? I better clarify that.
Yeah. Okay. We'll check
Okay.
on that.
Yeah. I thought it was 9:30.
Just join us for the 2
yeah.
hours like you guys normally do.
That's
and
right.
Like, subscribe, share the show, let everybody know what we're doing. So we'll call it a show. For Pro Joe and Lindsay Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We appreciate your support, and we'll come back and do it again tomorrow. Have a great day.